I'm Professor Moricone from Iona University. Today I'm here with Gabriele Thornton, who is a graduate of Iona University in May of 2022, who has been now accepted to Columbia University Dental School. So Gabby, thank you for coming and spending some time with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So if you could just briefly tell us a little bit about, your 4 years at Iona. I know you did a lot while you were here, and then you could, fill us in on, how our biology students could increase their chances of getting into dental school. So a little bit about yourself first.
Yeah, of course. So at Iona, I majored in bio and I pursued the cell and molecular concentration as my advisor, Dr. Kong, had told me that would best prepare me for becoming a dentist and going to dental school. Yeah, so I declared my major freshman year and I actually had some open space in my schedule. So I minored in criminal justice as well. Just an interesting topic to myself. But as for the major, I pretty much just took all the required classes and then I got to take 2 electives and I ended up taking neurobiology with Dr. Diversa and virology with Dr. Zuckerman post-COVID. So that was pretty interesting. At the end of my senior year, I was inducted into the Tri Beta Bio Honor Society at Iona and I graduated cum laude. On top of the bio program, I actually was also a member of the lacrosse team at Iona for all 4 of my years and was captain my senior year. So definitely a lot going on, but it was great. Yeah.
So you have accomplished a lot, both as a student here, a graduate of Iona University, and a biology major, and now you're on your way to dental school. So what I think is also important, besides knowing about you, is helping our, perhaps prospective students that plan on becoming a biology major. How did Iona prepare you for, dental school?
Yeah. So in terms of the bio curriculum, it's just the way it's broken down. There was so much information to cover. And I think all the teachers and professors at Iona really did a great job of that because such an important part of getting into dental school and med school is passing your exams. So for dental school, it's the DAT, and for med school, it's the MCAT. I'm not too familiar with exactly what's on the MCAT. I know there's definitely some sciences, psychology, and whatnot. But for the DAT, there was 4 sections. The most important section was your natural sciences. So in addition to that, there was also reading comprehension, math, and your PAT, which is perceptual ability. But arguably, the science section is really, really important. And essentially, when it came to studying for that, there was just so many topics to cover. And most people tend to study for 3 months, but in reality, if you're not a bio major, it's definitely super difficult to learn all this material within that time frame. Whereas in my 4 years at Iona, I learned all of the material I needed for this exam. So it was more of a review. And when it came to studying for my exam, it was pretty easy, in fact, like just reviewing the information. And I think just going through the bio major at Iona, the professors really discipline you and they make sure that you know everything. So it helped me do really well on my exam, which definitely helped me get accepted.
So it sounds like attending Iona University and becoming a biology major helped you, from what I'm gathering, helped you increase your chances of getting into dental school. Obviously, there was a lot of hard work too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But it definitely looks good when you're applying to these schools if you're a bio major, because it shows you want to go through that rigor and you're willing to take this on, because dental school, med school, it's no joke. They expect much more from you than they do in undergrad. So if they see that you went through the rigor in undergrad, they know that you're capable of handling it again.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because students here sometimes complain that the rigor is, too much, right? But you just said it right there, that the rigor that's going to be expected of our biology students that go into the healthcare fields like dentistry and medicine are going to be asked to do even more. What could you tell us about maybe increasing a student's chances of getting into dental school?
Yeah. So obviously you want to do well on your exams and prepare as best you can for it. But there's also people that get in with lower exam scores because they boost other sections of their application. And essentially, dental schools in particular, they really like to see volunteer hours and teamwork because out in the real world, you're working no matter what you go into, general dentistry or specialization like orthodontistry, periodontistry, you're going to be working with other dentists and coordinating. If somebody needs a root canal, you might have to send them out and so on. So they're trying to see what your character is. And like I said, with the volunteering, they say that dentistry gives back to the community. They say that dentists don't always get as much credit as like maybe doctors do in terms of that people don't go to them every year like they go to the doctor. So dentists do give a lot back to the community for those who might not go to the dentist that much or might not have insurance because it is hard to get dental insurance. So they want to make sure you're there to really take care of people, not there for the money as well. Like
Interesting. That's a very important thing, right? Giving back to the community, especially for communities that might be underserved with dentistry, right? So in addition to all of that, what could you tell us about the dental school application? What's that like?
Well, it took me a lot longer to fill out than I thought it was going to take. It took me about a month, I feel like, but I was also working and doing other things in the meantime. But you have to get letters of recommendation. You need to make sure you reach out super early. I know at Iona, Dr. Kong was great about it. She sat us down sometime in the spring semester for all of the prospective dental and MCAT students and prepared them to get their references for a committee letter. So a committee letter is essentially like a combination of teachers writing a big letter of recommendation. And then you want to shadow a lot as well. They like to see shadowing hours to make sure that you know what goes on in a dentist's office and you still want to do it. So a lot of schools actually have requirements on the number of shadowing hours and volunteer hours, like I was talking about before. So you kind of need to show that you're like well balanced even. In addition to that, I mean, you have an essay and it's called your personal statement. And essentially every year, the topic of it is just why dentistry? Why did you want to become a dentist? And this is essentially the only part that you get to design on your application. It's not just like a cutout, And this is where you can stand out and really like make yourself wanted at this school. Like so the admissions committee, they read so many applications every year and it gets boring for them. But if you write a good personal statement that really catches their eye, they'll definitely look more into your application and see where you stand for them.
So being well-rounded, volunteering, and doing extracurricular activities really helps. But sometimes it's hard to handle all of that. How did you manage to manage it all?
I mean, it was definitely tough, but you have to be really good at planning, really good at time management, like I know while I was at Iona, I realized that I was not going to be able to study for my DAT and be in class and be in season because I was planning on studying in the spring. So I realized that was not possible. So I ended up pushing back studying for the summer and I was working about 30 hours a week, but most people tend to study for 8 hours a day. So I had to like really plan out my days. I'm going to study from maybe 8 a.m. to 12 o'clock, take lunch, and study for another hour or two, and then go to work at night. So time management is huge. It is one of the biggest things, and just really just pushing through and getting there.
Okay. So I want to thank you for stopping by today. I know you're in your gap year and you'll be starting Columbia dental in the fall, and that's why I wanted to get you on this segment. So thank you for being here. I'm Professor Moricone for Iona University. Thank you.